You know, one thing that survival and preparedness has taught me is to appreciate multi-use items, and also to appreciate items that are bought on off-season. In other words, when the hot summer's coming up, good time to start looking for heaters for next winter, because they're going to be on sale, they're going to be less expensive, and stuff like that. So that is why I chose to review this today. This is an awesome 2-in-1 portable propane heater and stove. We're going to test out the efficiency of this. I believe the brand is APG, and we're going to try it out and see how we like it. Let's get started. So this is something that I did pick up off of Temu, and I wanted to let you know about the, if you download the app, you can save a $100 coupon bundle for free, okay? You can search my code down there, and you get $100 worth of coupons on that to start out with, to start shopping. And you know, I have searched long and hard on their site for interesting kind of survival and prepper type gear that I feel would stand up to the test of time. And we're going to try this out and see how it does. I looked at it, I thought it was kind of unique because you do have a cooking surface and a heating surface. And with this additional tray here, which will slot in the front here, you have a place to keep things warm. Okay, you can even use this as a toaster if you wanted. I guess you could lean your toast up there and do it. So I have turned it on just to make sure it works, but I haven't really tested it fully yet. So today we're going to try heating up some food on top here, and it's pre-cooked food. We're not cooking on it. We're just warming up some stuff and see what the heater output is as well. Now this is very easy to use. Okay, this is a perfect emergency device. If you're going to be, you know, in an emergency with a power outage, grid down, whatever, hurricane, we're in California. I'm not in California, but people in California are looking at getting hit on the upper north area there pretty hard this weekend with a snowstorm. I believe they said something like 10 feet of snow in the Donner Pass area. So it's going to be an ugly, windy, messy kind of thing. And we're going to get some high winds here today. So I may get to test this out for real after the video, who knows. But this is a pretty simple device to use. You're going to be using your standard butane fuel. You're going to stick it in the side here. It does have a magnetic clip to it. So basically what it'll do is the magnet, you'll put it in where that notch is, and the magnet will stick to the top. You turn it, lock it in place, and it's good to go. No leaks. I did test for that. So we're going to see how well this works. As far as I'm concerned for you guys, you know, don't want to sell you bum gear. So far, turning it on and using it for a little bit and trying it out seemed to work pretty well. It does have its own ignition system here. So basically you're going to turn this on like that and click it, and that will start your fire. Again, too, if you had a long enough lighter, if the ignition system went out, you could always reach in there and light it. No big deal. Fairly simple to use. You will use this like witness hole area here to feed your tank in. I'm going to put the tank in and we're going to start it up. I do like this too. This is handy too. You have a handle so you can kind of carry it around with you without having to pick up something that's really, really hot. And this is a nice insulated plastic on the back here, and it will be down here so it won't be over the heated area. So let me load in the cartridge, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's loaded in, and then we'll fire it up and try it out. All right, so that's what it's going to look like when it's loaded in. Now, I want to explain something to you. The first time I tried to put a cartridge in here, I was a little frustrated because I didn't understand how the thing worked. There is I don't know if you can see that little metal piece at the bottom there, underneath the can. Oh, that's in the way. There we go. Metal piece on the bottom under the can. See it? That piece guides your can in. However, if you rely on that piece to guide your can in straight, it won't. And I was putting it in, and it was pointing upwards, and I'm like, what the heck? Did they have a smaller can that they use for this stove or something? Once I put it in and then straightened it up, it snapped right in there, and it installs super easy. I mean, it just snaps in there, and you'll turn it once you feel it, the magnet click evenly around the outside, and it's good to go. So it's a secure fitting on there, no problems at all. So what we're going to do is turn it on first, and then we're going to try and heat up. I've been dying to try this stuff, and I ordered this stuff off of Amazon. We're going to heat up these meatballs, okay? These are little instant rip and ready. They're fully cooked. I'm just going to heat them up. We're going to heat them up and see if we like them, but also see how this works as a stove. So let's get started. All right, so I'm going to turn it. And there we go. Okay, so it's running. It's definitely going. I wanted to make sure it stayed hot. And you can see the front starting to heat up. Now I'm going to do a quick baseline reading on the front here. Okay, I'm showing 95 degrees. I should have done it before. It was 67 before we started all this. Now I can feel the heat coming off it right here. So it's doing a good job of radiating the heat out. That's kind of impressive without a fan going on there. That's really cool. It is very hot up top. That's probably why I'm getting some of that heat this way too, because heat tends to rise. So let's let this run a few minutes and see how it goes, just running on its own as a heater. And then we're going to try and heat up that food on top of it. So we've been running about 2 minutes now, and I'm already getting a higher reading. 154 on the front. Of course, if I go in there, it's going to error because it doesn't go that high. But off the top, let's see if I can get a reading. 222, 204 on this top piece here. So this will definitely cook and warm very, very quickly. Now, again, I got to get this piece over here. We do have this guy here. This will sit right in there. And the cool part about that is I can feel it's warm here, but it's not going to keep things boiling or overly hot. So if you're using this to cook with, and let's say you make your pasta first and you want to keep it in a little cup here and warm it, that'll work pretty well. Yes, it will take away from some of the heat coming out, but it'll work very well. So I've got this pot here, okay? And I'm going to rip these open and try them out and see how we like them. All right, so stick this on. Well, actually, it's a little easier to put it loaded here than stick it on top and try to be doing that over the top of the thing. These are interesting. I've never tried these before. I had meatballs in a can before, but never in a pouch, and from this particular company. I know this company makes decent stuff, and their expiration date is 2026, I believe. I think that says, no, looks like 2085. I don't know. Regardless, if you keep the pouch intact, they'll last a good long time. So we're going to flatten them out in there, stick it up top, and see when they get to a good temperature inside, a good warm temperature, and see how they come out. All right, so we're starting to get a little boil going on there. So what I'm going to do is turn this down a little bit, being that we're using it as a stove. Turn it down a little bit. There we go. So it's still running, but it'll just warm the things up and not cook them. So it is hot enough to cook with this. You definitely cook something on top there in a pan, or you wouldn't want to cook on the grill itself. You want to cook in a container or something over the top of it. So let's let it run a little bit more. We're going to try them out and see if they got nice and warm inside, and I'll let you know what I think. So I decided to get a little creative and make myself some garlic bread with this. And this is just wheat bread. I took a little butter and melted it and put a little garlic salt sprinkle in there, a little bit of garlic, and this is heating up quite well. I'm getting about 110 degrees on the internal temperature of the meatballs, so that's doing just fine. There we go. Okay. That's doing just fine. That's probably fine since they're pre-cooked. Again, I don't want them scorching hot where I'm going to hurt myself eating them, but I like this idea of making this a little toaster. That's kind of cool. So when it's all finished up, I'll bring you back and we'll see what it looks like when it's all done. All right, so I just turned it off. Started to get a nice little brown on my garlic bread there. Okay. And the meatballs. And as you can see, that's all nice and hot, ready to eat. I actually want to try one of these because I haven't tried this brand before. Not bad. Let's try out our garlic bread here. See how that came out. Pretty darn cool. So all in all, I've just cooked myself a little meal here and kept warm. This thing was still putting out heat while I was cooking. Very impressed with it. Nice little system. I think the dual use of it, like I said in the intro, having something that does two things in one, really, really handy when you're dealing with emergencies. Because if I'm freezing cold somewhere, I can keep myself warm and cook myself a meal, warm my insides up, and get ready to go. So this runs about $61. I believe it's $60.98. And again, you'll save some money using my coupon bundle below. Okay. Very, very easy to get. I've had nothing but good experiences so far with the stuff I've ordered from Temu. My advice to you is just order carefully. See what you like. See if you think it's going to work for you and order it. Even on any other site, I stay away from survival gadgets. You know, little gizmos and gadgets and those little survival kits with the knife and the ferro rod and everything inside of them. You want gear that's going to work for you whatever you're going to be using it, whether you're going to be using it at home. I mean, basically my home is my bug-in location. That would work very well for me. It'd be very handy to be able to cook something while I'm warming up in the morning. Maybe make a couple of eggs, a little piece of bacon, a little bit of toast, and I can keep warm and warm up my immediate area in the morning. Now, with any kind of gas-powered device, okay, you definitely want to keep an eye on your carbon monoxide levels. So having a CO2 meter or a CO2 monitor or an air quality monitor of some kind isn't a bad idea. But I've found that, at least in my home, I really don't have a problem with that. I will crack my back patio door maybe, you know, just to make sure. But I have very high ceilings, very big house, so I don't have to worry about any kind of carbon monoxide buildup. But it's still good to be smart about it and still good to pay attention. So having the carbon monoxide monitors, if you're going to use this stuff indoors, very important. Anyway, a little bit about the stove itself. 8 inches tall, 9 inches wide, and about 7 inches deep back that way. So it's not a huge item. It's easily compact and put away somewhere. Very easy to, I want to pull that out. There we go. Easy to disassemble, take the stove out, take the propane out, the butane out. Very easy to use. Gotta say, it's just, there's no complicated anything with this. Just pull it on out and get to heating yourself up, and maybe some cooking too. Anyway, folks, I thank you for joining me today. Don't forget to check the Temu link for this down below, as well as all our other links. We have our Amazon affiliate link there. Do check that out. Tons of stuff in there. Below that, our freeze-dried wholesalers link. Remember, that link saves you 15% on anything on his site. Below that, My Patriot Supply, preparewithiridium.com. Awesome deals going on there this month. And of course, our Thrive Life freeze-dried food store. I thank you guys for hanging out with me today and testing this out. Stay safe and stay prepared.